Havanın sisli olduğu bir zamanda insan önünü, etrafını, sağını ve solunu net bir şekilde göremez. Sisli havada bulanıklık vardır. Doğru ve yanlış ayırt edilemez. Günümüz siyaseti de böyledir. Doğru nerededir? Doğrular kimlerdir? Her şeyin iç içe girdiği, bilgi kirliliğinin yoğunlaştığı bir zamanda iftira oklarının atıldığı yeri takip etmemiz gerekir. Düşman okları ne tarafa atılıyor? Kime atılıyor? Dikkat ettiniz mi? Birçok grup, devlet, yapı ve fikir birbirleriyle tartışma halindeyken söz konusu bir ülke, bir şahıs gündeme geldiği zaman bu birbirine karşıt olan gruplar bir anda tek ses oluveriyor. Gerçeğe ulaşmamamız için etrafımıza duvarlar örülüyor olabilir mi? O halde düşmandan gelen oku takip edelim. Netanyahu'nun birçok insan ya fotoğrafını ya da ismini görmüştür. Şimdi sesiyle tanışma zamanı. İsrail'in dünya siyasetine bakışını anlamak isteyenler birazdan yayınlayacağımız konuşmalara iyi kulak versinler. Sözü fazla uzatmadan Netanyahu'ya kulak verelim. Videoya geçmeden önce kanalıma abone olarak daha iyi çalışmalarda bulunmamıza yardımcı olabilirsiniz. Yakın zamanda sizleri sürpriz videolar bekliyor. Öyleyse bildirimleri aktif hale getirin. Başlayalım.
Last week, Major General Salehi, the commander of Iran's army, proclaimed this, quote, "We will annihilate Israel for sure. We are glad that we are in the forefront of executing the Supreme Leader's order to destroy Israel." End quote. And as for the Supreme Leader himself, a few days after the nuclear deal was announced, he released his latest book. Here it is. It's a 400-page screed detailing his plan to destroy the state of Israel. Last month, Khamenei once again made his genocidal intentions clear. Before Iran's top clerical body, the Assembly of Experts, he spoke about Israel, home to over 6 million Jews. He pledged, quote, "There will be no Israel in 25 years," end quote. 70 years after the murder of 6 million Jews, Iran's rulers promised to destroy my country, murder my people, and the response from this body
Daha önce Ali Hamaney'in 25 yıl içerisinde İsrail diye bir devlet olmayacağını söylediğini belirtmiştik. Hatta Şeyh Ahmet Yasin de 2027 yılını işaret etmişti. Beni bu konuda ısrarlı hale getiren etken Netanyahu'nun bu sözü ciddiye alması ve Birleşmiş Milletler Kürsüsü'nde dahi bu ifadeyi açıkça belirterek dünya devletlerinden yardım istemesiydi. Ali Hamaney bu ifadeyi 2014 yılında kullanmıştı ve aradan 5 yıl geçti. Sonuç olarak 20 yıllık bir süre kalıyor.
What's the greatest threat right now that Israel faces?
Iran. You want the three threats?
Give me the three threats.
Iran, Iran, Iran.
So tell us why it's the number 1, 2, 3 threat.
Iran is trying to build an empire, an aggressive empire. I think we have to remember this is the same Iran that is arming, financing, training the Hamas and Islamic Jihad. Darkness is descending on our region. Iran is building an aggressive empire. Iran, Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Gaza, Yemen, more to come. Now Iran is seeking to build permanent military bases in Syria, seeking to create a land bridge from Tartus, from Tehran to Tartus on the Mediterranean. And in addition to moving its army, its air force, its navy to Syria, to be able to attack Israel from closer hand.
Thank you. I bring you greetings from Jerusalem, the eternal, undivided capital of Israel and the Jewish people. Thank all of you for working so tirelessly to strengthen the alliance between Israel and America. American support for Israel and for that alliance is at an all-time high. And I can tell you that there's no country on earth that is more pro-American than Israel. An Israeli army field hospital in the Golan Heights. Now, that field hospital wasn't set up for Israelis. It was set up for Syrians. Israel has treated nearly 1,000 wounded Syrians, men, women, and a lot of children. They come to our border fence bleeding and desperate, offering their near death. And on my visit, I met two such Syrians, a shell-shocked father and his badly wounded 5-year-old boy. A few days earlier, the man's wife and baby daughter were blown to bits by Iranian bombs dropped by Assad's Air Force. Now the grieving father was holding his little boy in his arms, and Israeli doctors were struggling to save the boy's life. I heard from them and from the other patients there what all the Syrians who come to be treated in Israel are saying. They all tell the same story. They say, all these years, Assad lied to us. He told us that Iran was our friend and Israel was our enemy. But Iran is killing us. And Israel is saving us. Syria sending a field hospital anywhere? Did you ever hear about Iran sending a humanitarian delegation overseas? No? You missed that memo? You know why? You know why you haven't heard anything about that? Because the only thing that Iran sends abroad are rockets, terrorists, and missiles to murder, maim, and menace the innocent. And what the Iranian people, or rather what the Iranian regime does abroad is just as similar to what they do to their own people. They execute hundreds of political prisoners. They throw thousands more into their jails, and they repress millions in a brutal theocracy. If you want to understand the moral divide that separates Israel from its enemies, just listen to Hassan Nasrallah, the head of Hezbollah, Iran's terror proxy in Lebanon. He said this. He said, Iran and Hezbollah love death, and Israel loves life. And that's why, he said, Iran and Hezbollah will win, and Israel will lose. Well, he's right about the first point. They do glorify death, and we do sanctify life. But he's dead wrong on the second point. It's precisely because we love life that Israel shall win. It's not building nuclear weapons. So why does it continue to build ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, whose only purpose is to carry nuclear warheads? See, unlike Scud missiles that are limited to a range of a few hundred miles, ICBMs can cross vast oceans, and they can strike right now, or very soon, the eastern seaboard of the United States, Washington, and very soon, after that, everywhere else in the United States, up to LA. And the important point to make is this: Iran's missiles can already reach Israel. So those ICBMs that they're building, they're not intended for us. You remember that beer commercial? This bud's for you? Well, when you see Iran building ICBMs, Just remember, America, that's God's for you. It's not only that Iran doesn't walk the walk. In the last few weeks, they don't even bother to talk the talk. Iran's leaders say they won't dismantle a single centrifuge. They won't discuss their ballistic missile program. And guess what tune they're singing in Tehran? It's not God Bless America. It's Death to America. And they chant this as brazenly as ever. Some charm offensive. And here's my point. Iran continues to stand unabashedly on the wrong side of the moral divide. And that's why we must continue to stand unequivocally on the right side of that divide. We must oppose Iran and stand up for what is right. And Iran from having the capability to produce nuclear weapons. And I want to reiterate that point. Not just to prevent them from having the weapon, but to prevent them from having the capacity to make the weapon. It only calls for our destruction. 70 years ago, our people, the Jewish people, were left for dead. We came back to life. We will never be brought to the brink of extinction again.